no one in your life you need to have in a pedestal. God needs to have that number one spot, because when he delivers you to them, or let them have you, or let you have what you see as your pedestal, oh, trust me, when they say never meet your hero sometimes, yeah.
Wow.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Welcome to the Lean Podcast, Ladies Empowerment and Alignment Network. I'm your host, Mahogany, and this is Season 2. Let's start with a short prayer. God, I pray this season speaks to every heart listening. May these stories ignite purpose, restore hope, and remind each woman that she is never alone. Amen.
Amen.
What is up, you guys? Welcome back to Season 2 of the Ladies Empowerment and Alignment Network podcast. Today we have with us Ms. Jasmine Diaz, and we are so excited to hear about her upbringing, her life, and most importantly, her place as a mentor, as a role model, as an entrepreneur. She is the owner of Nailed It Academy, teaching young girls how to be entrepreneurs, and most of all, how to stay fabulous with these nails, honey. We appreciate what you do and how you're helping the youth. And if you could, just in your own words, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you so much. That was a very great introduction. It kind of put me on a pedestal right there. But first, all glories to God. Thank you. First, all glories to God. And just to let you know, like, he gave me this ministry. I didn't know I was going down this path, but he put it on my table and I had to pick it up. So I'm here. Yeah. So what was your question?
Basically, just a little bit about yourself. I know we know you're a mom and stuff, but just about your current life now in a nutshell.
So currently now I am a mentor, as she did state, for Nailed It Academy. I do teach the youth ages 13 to 21 how to do nails, and with ministry behind it. So just giving them some substance behind a craft. So that way they can know who they are and, just follow the routes as they go. I didn't have a mentor at that age. And 13 was just wild for me. Wow. Of course, we'll get there. But, so that is my mission now that God has blessed me with. And it is a blessing because he gave me the craft, but it would just always felt like I was missing something. And I was missing teaching. And then teaching the youth is what that age, that sponge that they have, that willingness to learn and to just be molded. It's a beautiful state to be in, but it's also a scary state if you don't have the right mentorship to lead you the right way. So, and I feel like this is why he was like, you've been here before, teach them how not to go there. Teach them how to go right instead of left. So, yeah.
Love that so much. It's so important for us to give back.
Absolutely.
So many times we take the things that we learn and it's like, that's what I learned and I'm not sharing it, or thinking it doesn't have value. Gatekeeping. Yes, or just thinking that it doesn't have value, but it absolutely does, because God wouldn't take us through things if it wasn't for a reason.
You have to have a test for the testimony. So I feel like I have been tested, and some have failed, some are golden, some I will not walk back into. So it's all been a really good learning lesson. Really good learning lesson.
I know you mentioned that you didn't have a mentor when you were growing up.
Yeah.
What was your childhood like? What was your home structure like? Were you in a two-parent household, or what was your life like?
So my mom was married to my dad for a while. She had to flee New York because my dad was abusive. My first early traumatic memory is my dad being at my aunt's door with a gun, trying to get me because my mom had to flee. Of course, he was hitting on her, and she wanted to just get to safety. And I just remember my cousin saying, if you don't leave, I'm going to call the cops, Lloydie. And that was just his life. Growing up as a drug dealer princess, I guess you could say it like that, as we discussed earlier, the dirty silver spoon. So it's like, I had the silver spoon, but it wasn't a clean one and it wasn't the right way. So just a lot of that traumatic. My first memory was traumatic. So just working through that as a young adult, you can find your ways very scattered sometimes and don't know which way to go. And then what you thought was right is wrong, and what you thought was wrong is right. So it's just like, it's been a very much a learning experience. Then when she did leave New York, she went to Boston, and we grew up there a long time. I went to elementary, middle school. I left middle school, but you would think that it would have been a better experience. But unfortunately, me and my sister, they're 4 years apart. So it's kind of like the blind leading the blind. My mom had to work Not saying she was a bad mom or anything of that nature, but she was absent a lot, just because she had to provide. She had other due diligence to do for us. So it was literally the blind leading the blind, and sometimes that's not the right way to go.
Right.
Got into many troubles, smoking, partying. Was a teen mom. So it's just a lot of ways that I had to learn to do right. And now I want to teach them how to do right.
Yes, I love that.
Absolutely.
How old were you when you started walking down a better path?
It was honestly about 2 years ago when I start. 3 years ago now. Woo!
Okay.
We just had a new year. So 3 years ago now, just to be completely honest with you, I've always grew up in the church. My mom just made sure we were always there. I've always had that seed planted. So I would say that my mom did plant the seed. But you know how sometimes you grow up and you stray? Mm-hmm. We strayed. We strayed badly. And for the past, like 3 years ago is when I just couldn't take it no more. I was literally in a bad relationship. Bad. I came down here to my dad. That went bad. We could definitely get into that as well. And I just remember like saying, I'm tired. Like, I'm tired. And I feel like when you are tired into that breaking point, that's when the Lord could really lean in and do his work. It's not like he's left me. It's not like he wasn't here. I just wasn't paying attention. And not noticing like who is really beside me this whole time through my whole journey. And when you really stop to pause and think, you're like, oh, that was him. Like, because I could have been, but that was him. But I could have been, but that was him. So it was me just reflecting on it and hitting rock bottom. Literally had to take a situation where I left Atlanta from an abusive relationship. Just with the wrong guy, chasing what I saw as an idol, money, fast life, being taken care of, and all that. Not really the best route to go. Get your own money, get your own stuff at all times. And then coming down here to my earthly father, and that went horrible. He never changed. He never changed.
I wonder if he changed.
No. And I thought, me in my head, and my sister, you know, once everything hit the fan, and we could get into that more, but once everything hit the fan, my sister was like, you know your dad. Like, you know him. Why would you bring your kids down here to that? And I was like, I really thought his grandkids would change him. Honestly, I really thought like something would just speak to his heart. It did not. But it's okay. I took both of those situations and it pushed me closer to my Heavenly Father. And when I say it has not failed since then, it has not failed since then. So I'm happy for the lows. I'm grateful for the highs, but I'm happy for the lows because it brought me back to my Heavenly Father.
Yeah, I love that. It's a beautiful
Thank
thing.
you.
When it comes to your sisters, I know you said your father. Do y'all have different dads?
So me and my older sister that grew up, yes, we do have different dads. And then my dad has two others. Sorry, sisters, I love y'all. Two others. Yeah, two others on my little sisters on my dad's side. So I have a total of 3 sisters.
Okay,
Yeah.
wow. Also, all girls.
No. And then I have 3 brothers as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have a big family, but on my mom, it's just me and my sister that grew up. And then on my dad's side, it was 6 of us. We are spread out, unfortunately. So even trying to keep that relationship with siblings and not having a same father, mother household, kind of difficult. Mm-hmm. And then he has rode a lot of us away from him, just out of protection. There's reconciliation in the Bible, and we try to do that, especially with it being our father. But after a time, when you try to do it so many times, it's now hurting you. You have to make that choice. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, I pray for him every day. Mm-hmm. But I'm probably not going to, unless God tells me. I'm not going to say it like that. Right. It has to be spiritually led for me to go ahead and hand out that olive branch. But it's like, I've done it so many times. And because I've done that so many times, I allowed so much stuff in my life. And it's just like, I have to put up that boundary right now. Right. Until God tells me, hey, go ahead and make that right. Okay. And so then, yeah.
Have you always been, or are you a daddy's girl, or were you a daddy's girl?
Girl, am I? Was I? Still am, because of course my Heavenly Father. So I don't take that away from me. I'm still a daddy's girl. It's just my father and I are more on a spiritual level. But for my humanly father, yes, I was pretty much a daddy's girl. So what we went through, it was pretty traumatic. A lot of trauma, and I had to let that go. It hurt. It hurt, but it, like I said, it brought me back closer to who I needed to be. And I had him on a pedestal. And I'm going to tell you right now, no one in your life you need to have on a pedestal. God needs to have that number one spot, because when he delivers you to them, or let them have you, or let you have what you see as your pedestal, oh, trust me, when they say never meet your hero sometimes, yeah.
Wow, I never heard that. Never meet your hero. That's a good one.
Sometimes.
Yeah, wow. Oh, okay. So you had, a childhood. It was fine, and then it kind of got shaken up as you're growing up. You moved away.
Yeah.
You then left Boston and went straight to Atlanta?
No, so there was a little, Florida was in the picture, and this is when I was skipping school. I was hanging out. So what happened was my mother took me from Boston, which was predominantly not our skin color, predominantly. And then I got down to Florida, and I was like, they got dreads, and they're playing football, and they got goals in their mouth. And I was like, oh my goodness. So it was very much a culture shock. And then she moved me down there the beginning of high school. South Florida. Okay. South Florida. So
wow.
Yeah, I could say, it did start in Boston though, where my rebellion started and that, activeness started. But it definitely flourished in Florida. And then I went to New York to live with my cousin for a little bit, and she was in the Army. Shout out to my cousin, Natalie. That's how I got my womanly stance. I was rough around the edges, and she was like, put some lip gloss on, put some perfume on, do your hair, do your edges. Like, she mostly brought up my womanly stance, so love her for that. Love you always, love you always. But yeah, when we went to Florida, that's when stuff kind of hit the fan. And then I was an adult after that, and it was just me trucking, me mudding, me being through the grind, and that's not how God wants us to be. That's not how God wants us to be. He has an order that he wants you to follow. He wants you to get rest. He doesn't want you on this hustle culture. He doesn't want you just not anxious. He does not want you anxious. He literally says, be anxious for nothing, with all things pray. Pray about it. And I am emphasizing, but the scripture is there.
Go look it up.
Yes,
you can find that one. So when it comes to your first jobs, what did that look like for you?
So my first job, I worked at JR Crickets, which was in Atlanta. It was a bar in a like a wing spot. They had the most infamous one that was like downtown Atlanta, and she was a franchise. It was very, very cool experience. Yeah, I would say made the most money in my life, because those guys would get toasty and they'd be like, did I tip you already? I don't even remember. Here's another tip. Thank you. I was like in high school going home with like $400, $500 a night. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and then on top of that, getting paid. So it was, I loved that experience, but all good things got to come to an end. And that wasn't the environment that needed to be in anyway.
What made you leave that first job?
I actually moved to New York.
Okay, that's when you moved.
I moved to New York to be with my son's dad. Like I said, I was a teen mom. I had my son got pregnant at 16, had him at 17.
Okay.
So I went up there so we could do our family thing and try it out. That was my high school love. Yeah, and then when I went up there, things didn't go as planned as either. Growing and learning, growing and loving, and shout out to him. He's a great dad. I'm still in his son's life. My son is with him right now. So, yeah, that's really good to see, people of our dimensions just to be where they need to be at the times that they need to be. So my son told me, like, last year, he was like, I need to go be a man. And I was like, okay.
How old's your son?
My son is now 17.
Okay.
Yeah. 17, about to be 18 this year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. You're a teen mom for real.
Teen mom for real.
You don't always look young. That's nice. You're like, that's your mom? That's your mama? No,
he hates it. He hates it. He hates every moment of it. I'm walking through the schoolhouse like with my hat on and stuff like that. Don't come in here like that, okay? I don't know what else to do.
I can't change my face.
I don't know what else to do.
I love that. Yeah. So you went down there. What were some of your biggest lessons while making your family work out?
Patience. Definitely patience. And that sometimes, not for everybody, but the man that or the boy, because we were kids, we were young. You guys might grow apart, and that is something that I had to face reality of, excuse me, as I've gotten older, it was just like I wasn't the same 16-year-old girl. You know, we're with each other at 21 now, and it's just like, yeah, I'm not wanting the same things. I want new aspirations, and I want to do other things. And sometimes your partner does not grow with you, I should say that. And he's amazing. We have an amazing relationship now as co-parenting. So no harm, no foul, but it just wasn't for us.
Right.
Yeah, he's married now and everything like that. So shout out to him.
That's great. So as you guys went on to your next phase, what was your next step when it comes to your career?
To career-wise, I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur because I kept getting fired.
That's something to tell you. You weren't meant for this.
Listen, every 2 years, it's like God was like, get in here and learn what you need to learn. I've had some very good jobs too, like very good jobs, but it'd be like 2 years max. I promise you, when I go down my timeline, 2 years max, and it's like it's either I leave, something happens, or it's just not for me anymore. And between all that time is like, you know how they say like the world is your oyster and the world is your school. Sometimes I feel like I didn't go to traditional college, but I've had jobs with college graduates, so I've learned along the way. So it's like, and I'm a fast learner.
Yeah.
So I did my 2 years and I'm out.
Love it.
Yeah.
I got your skills. Got your skills. Gotta
go. Wow. The main job that I will say that I do like still hold on to their values to this day is Quick Trip. I was an assistant manager there. Didn't even know. Walking in, thinking I was going to be a clerk, and I sat down. They had my name on the book, and it said assistant manager. I said, "This for me." I was like, "Is this is mine?" But yeah, their values and just the way that they teach you, train you to be an assistant manager. I've stuck with some of those. Like some of those still recollect in my mind, and I still So shout out to them.
Yes. What was your first experience as an entrepreneur?
I was a party promoter. I was a party promoter in Atlanta. And it was so amazing at that time. It was a good experience. I met a lot of cool people. Just knowing how to network yourself, and like the last time I was a party promoter, I've had a crew, I guess you could say like that, and I can't say their name right now, but I had a crew, and they were rapping, and we had got them booked at one of these venues, and I was trying so hard to get on this venue list, like just so hard for them to like really bring me in on a Friday or Saturday night, and they did, and we had the biggest party, biggest show out, and I feel like that was God, because literally the night of it, everything is going amazing. I'm sitting here talking to the DJ, and he was like, yes, time to start getting you paid for this, because I've been doing this job for like a couple of months now, like just going in free, hosting free, posting free, Instagram big, like, you know, doing the flyers and all that other stuff. And he was like, and then as we're having that conversation, my crew is fighting.
Oh.
Literally. I turned around and I was like, you got right when I'm about to do the contract. I feel like that was God saying, yeah, no, not
where you're supposed to be, honey.
Not where you're supposed to be. I'm glad you learned that. Glad you got the influence. Glad you felt all of that juice. Now get out of there. Yeah, so it literally was mentioned and then fired that night.
Harsh.
Yeah.
Wasn't for you.
It wasn't.
Did you let that discourage you from being an entrepreneur? Like, obviously not, because you're one now. But at that time, were you like, okay, let me go sit down at a job, or what was your next move after that?
I did sit down at a job for a little bit because I'm a mama. Gotta keep the money rolling. And I was doing that for free anyway, so I was still kind of doing that with Quick Trip. Okay, going in, getting off of the club at 4 in the morning, then having to be at work at 6 in the morning. Yeah, 20s was wild. 20s was wild, but it did not. God has put something in me that is called resilience, and it's a blessing and a curse at the same time, because I'm not going to give up. I'm just, not me, not I. Yeah. I'm going to find a way around it, unless he literally is like, so when you do have that, you have to develop discernment as well. So you can know when he's telling you, hey, that's not for you. Right. It's literally not for you. I'm telling you no. And have that spiritual connection as well. I wasn't so much far in my spiritual journey at that point in time. So I wasn't hearing, I wasn't listening, didn't ask. I was just doing at that point in time. So now with what he has given me, I've learned to discern when it's like, you close this door or you're opening this door. Am I allowed to walk through or am I not allowed to walk through? You have to humble yourself. And I literally had to learn that within the past 3 years. Humble yourself, literally.
Yes. What are some ways that you hear from God?
He talks to me. I literally, the first time I heard God's voice was when I got here in Texas 3 years ago. Stuff hit the fan with my dad. Just everything. Cops were called. He was kicked out of his own house for 30 days just because it was so a violent situation. And I had to call the cops on him once. And, you know, emotions just got involved. And I was like, yeah, I'm not going to, you know, send my dad to jail. Like, you know, let's try to work this out. And then now, mind you, I have my 2 kids there as well. So I'm still mama bear. And then he came back with the same stuff. And I had to call the cops again. And they were like, are you pressing charges this time? And I was like, yeah. He was like, they put a notice on the door. He had 30 days. He could not be around his own home. Wow. It was just that traumatic. Like, I still have that video, and I try to hide it on my phone because it's just, I don't want to watch that. Yeah, no, it's okay. So, yeah, he got kicked out. When he left or when he got kicked out, he turned off the water. He turned off the lights. What else did he turn off? Yeah, water and lights. And you need that.
I know you heard that hurt. Because my kids are here. Your grandchildren.
Your grandchildren.
Wow.
What's going on here? But yeah, he did all of that. And I was able to get the lights cut back on. I was able to get the internet because I worked at home. That's what it was. He cut the internet off too. And I was able to get the internet back on. And I feel like God was like, you're not getting this water back on because you're not staying here. If you get comfortable here, you're going to want to stay here past these 30 days. And I'm only giving you 30 days to like figure it out. And that was just me and him just on a spiritual level vibing. So when he did that, my mother, you know, of course, knowing what was going on, she came down from Atlanta just to spend some time with us. And I don't know if you're going to have to cut this out, but I had a friend that came and turned back on that water. He did it for one weekend and then, you know, shut it off on the Monday. Yeah. And then he tried to do it again when my mom was coming down. He was like, I'm sorry to tell you this, but there's a lock on it. And I was like, ooh.
Caught.
Right. I was like, oh, okay. So I was like, okay, you know, plan B, let's get an Airbnb. It was around Christmas time. I was like, my kids are going to have a good Christmas.
Right.
They are going to have a good Christmas. We've been going through hell and back, honestly. So we're going to have a good Christmas. Got the Airbnb. Everybody was there. He actually invited another lady there as well. Shout out to you, Grace. God sent her at the right time, because if it was any other woman, it was his girlfriend at the time. If it was any other woman, I feel like she would have hopped, skipped, tail out of there and left me in that situation. But God sent her, literally. And she was such a blessing at the time. Like, oh my goodness, I didn't know how I was going to get through. So we're at the Airbnb, and how they met, she was on her truck with her kids, and they were kind of doing like, you know, the homeschool thing on the truck and, you know, traveling and stuff like that. Okay. So she was like, I think I'm going to go back and do what I was originally doing before I met your dad. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. So we said our goodbyes, and then my mom had to go back, and I'm sitting here like, I only had enough money to either redo the Airbnb or get an apartment. And I just been trying to get an apartment. And then everybody left. I'm sitting there at work with my work from home job, and I'm just sitting there. And then I went on a break, and I just started putting on gospel, and I just started crying, and I was just on the floor, and I was like, no. I was like, when I get in my apartment, I'm going to praise you. And when I get in my apartment, I'm going to do this. And when I get in my apartment, it's going to be about me and you, God. It's going to be about me and you. And I heard him say, get down and do it right now. Yeah, when I say I had chills, like it wasn't scary, but it was.
It was like, whoa.
Yeah, it was like, oh, you talking to me? Yeah, it was like literally he's talking to me. So he said, get down and do it right now. And I was obedient. When you hear him, be obedient. I got down on my knees and I sobbed. I think I sobbed like a toddler, like a baby, like. I was really wailing. It's not even it's wailing at this time. And when I got up, I was down there for about 5 minutes exactly, because I had 5 minutes left on my break. And then I got up. On my phone, it read, you have been accepted into your apartments. Girl, I had to call my boss, and I had to say, hold on, you're going to have to give me another 5 more minutes, because I have to, like, I was like, Jesus, you moving kind of fast.
Real fast.
Real fast. So we got into my apartments a little bit after Christmas, and I didn't even tell the kids. So we packed up the Airbnb and got I had my dog as well, had our stuff, and they're like, where are we going now? And, just the eerie feeling. And now, knowing that God has given me this, I'm just like, yeah, just get in the back seat. Just wait. So we're driving. And I took out the key and I opened up the door. And my baby said, this is ours? I was like, this is ours. And we walked in our home and we have not looked back since. And I've been serving God ever since.
Wow.
Ever since.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful.
Thank you.
What took you to that point, you think, of like breaking down? Do you think it was just hearing his voice? Or was it just a situation altogether?
It was everything.
Or was it like the whole concoction?
I
of
was,
like, wow,
I was
we're here?
letting a lot of stuff go. Like, even when we can't say anything, he hears our tears, he hears our groans, and it was just like, I left Atlanta from an abusive relationship, came down to my human father, to Texas. Like, he told me I didn't impose. I wasn't a grown woman like, oh, let me come. No, he told me to come down. That traumatic experience happened, and it was just like everything.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
so much at once.
At one time. And I just had to let it all go before I walked into my new season.
Yes.
Literally.
And so you and the kids moved into your new home. Yes. And when did Nailed It get birthed? Or when did that really was it in the past where it was birthed and you just continued it after you got settled?
Right.
Or how was that?
So as the entrepreneur in me, I didn't sit down for long. I was like, once I got in there and, put up my computer again and my internet, I was like, yeah, I need to do something. Because I just know, I don't know what it is, but I just know I am not supposed to be a 9 to 5 where I just know, or whatever. I was working like wee hours in the morning, whatever time. Right. I know I wasn't supposed to be on nobody's clock. Right. That's what I didn't know. So reading the Bible, my main company is Dwell. So reading the Bible, I was just going through, and dwell just kept on coming up for me. Like, he wants us to dwell in him. He wants us to be with him. He wants us to dwell and be with him. So I'm like, Dwell Partners, because that's my partner. So Dwell Partners Enterprise is the shell company, I guess you could say it like that. And then underneath it, we have Nailed It Academy. And I didn't know what I wanted to do with Dwell. I knew that, excuse me. Go ahead. You ahead. Oh, thank you. I knew that I wanted to do, I knew I wanted to do a business. I just didn't know what exactly I wanted to do with Dwell as of just yet. So going back to my nail days, and we can talk about that as well. I was doing nails for like 6 years prior, was all in Atlanta, doing celebrity nails and everything of that nature. Just loved it. Just wasn't bringing the right aspect to the scene, I guess you could say. Okay. And then I remember my conversation that I had with one of my teachers that I used to do her nails, and I was like, I want to teach. I literally want to teach little girls. And then that just circled back into my mind, and then just thinking back, like, I already had did an ebook. I already had did, throughout the years now, ebook. I already had a course written out. I already had kind of where I wanted to go, the dialogue that I wanted to be, but I didn't have my ministry put in there just yet. So the gaps that I did have in between, I was able to put the ministry in there, and it just worked out so beautiful. And I was like, and I just had to look at it, and I was like, this whole time, you had me preparing for this.
Yes.
This whole time.
Isn't that amazing? Girl, so many times that's been happening. I'm like, now I see.
Now I see.
Wow.
But he doesn't give you everything all at once, and I appreciate him for that, because if he would have told me my whole story, I probably would have been like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
Get somebody else to do it,
Not
please.
Not
doing that. But he literally was with me the whole time. Like, it's still mind-boggling to know when I was in the valley, he was with me. When I was at the highest top of the mountains, he was with me. When I was in the middle, he was with me. When I didn't know he was with me, and he's been chasing so long, or he's been with me, so I don't want to say chase. Well, yeah. He's been
trying to snatch you up.
Right. And he did. He did. Respectfully.
Yeah, that's a whooping never hurt nobody.
Right.
Oh, man, I love that so much. Dwell, is that the ministry combined with Nailed It, kind of? Is that kind of the concoction of the ministry, or does Dwell do something different than Nailed It?
So Dwell is more of my nonprofit.
Okay.
So that's going to be the... So how I see it, or how God has given it to me, is Dwell is going to be my building, and then I have different floors of different things to do within the ministry, and Nailed It Academy is one of my floors. So this is not the end for Dwell. We're definitely going to outspend a little bit more. I have a son, so I want to do something with boys. I want to do just different things to just, at the end of the day, I have to point you back to Christ. I have to point you back to who started it all for us, who has been maintaining it for us. So with all that I do, anything that I'm thinking about is going to be back to Christ. I am partnered with Create Her Foundation, as well as another company named Blue. And that is my actual friend's company, and she's actually a part of Dual Enterprise. So everything that we do is just going to bring you back to where you need to be. I do believe the firm saying in Jesus came down humanly formed. He did have carpentry, so he had skill. And then he didn't pick up his ministry until he was in his 30s. So with that model that he has shown right there, he's shown me that you do need to do something with your hands. You do need to do something. And then have that ministry behind it as well. So I'm trying to go after his model that he gave to me. Literally, yes. He literally lived his life for us to model it.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
That was a purpose.
Literally.
Oh, wow. I love it so much. So with your company and your business and parenthood and past traumas you healed from and your relationship with God, you've been growing and getting closer. What's something you would encourage women or let them know if they're in the middle of that valley? What should they do next, or how do they get up from that point?
I would say, listen, because he's speaking to you. He is, and he's with you at all times. You might think it's the all-time low. You're going to have that heartbreak. You're going to have that disappointment. You're going to have all of those things. But once you start listening, and it's hard. It's easier said than done, and I understand that. I definitely have been there where I'm just like, why isn't this working? Like, why isn't this? Why isn't this? But when you start to listen, it would just start to make sense. Like, when I got in my apartment and the next time I picked up my Bible again, I'm just like, why would my dad do that? Why would he do that? Why would he do that? And I couldn't even tell you the verse. Literally couldn't tell you. I was on the phone with my sister, and I flipped open the Bible, and I'm just sitting here reading, and something pointed me. Somebody just told me to read one section. And it was basically telling the story about how the king had to be destroyed because it was going to ruin the seeds that were coming up from it. And to me, that kind of clicked. Like, my dad was that king. Like, literally, that king that had to be, you can't do that no more because you got your kids coming up, and I can't have them growing up like that. Like, we have to end this one spot right here. I can't tell you where in the Bible I found that. I still can't to this day. It's been 3 years later, find it where it was. But when I tell you that it clicked, and that was from me listening. That was from me, like, let me go pick up my Bible. Let me flip. Okay, let me stop right here. That's from me listening, literally.
Wow.
Yeah.
That either just
And I have my answer. Yeah.
Dude, seriously, y'all. I'm with that 1,000%. Any of us who are children of God, he's going to talk to us. And so if we can't hear him, it's because we have too many distractions maybe going on and things like that. Because he's talking to us in all different ways. And we can be really checked out and miss out on a lot of stuff.
Absolutely.
Especially
with the distractions. I feel like in Dallas here, I do have my stepmom here. Shout out to her. And I do have my sister and my brother. But I kind of was isolated for a little while. And I feel like he needed that time with me. And I don't want people to feel like the isolation is a bad thing. It's not. He wants you to get closer to him in all aspects that you can get closer to him. So he has to take you away sometimes to just make sure that it's just you and him. He wants to do that one-on-one work. And we give so many people so much time of our day, like the kids and the husband and the wives and the this and the that. And it's like, when are you going to give him the time?
Right.
And I feel like I was just in Atlanta. It was such a bit. I love Atlanta. Love Atlanta down. But it was such a distraction. Such a distraction. And when I got here, I got focused. Like, I'm on a podcast now.
Yes, girl. Yes, you are.
Literally. I was so distracted.
Do you think it's important for people to go away from what's distracting them? So, like, if it's the environment or it's the people, or do you think after a while they'll just start focusing? Or
Absolutely.
you have to get out?
I feel like, don't be like me and get snatched out by the back of your neck. Okay? Because he took me up by my shirt. It was like, I need you here. So listen, the first time I did have a way out, And I went to Colorado. He gave me a good job. I was working at one of the airlines. I was putting pilots on the plane, y'all. Putting pilots on the plane.
You have lived and done everything. Literally.
I was putting the pilots on the plane, okay?
Right.
So they called it crew scheduling or pilot crew scheduling at that point. And I was isolated for a little while, but I hated it. I hated my isolation at that point in time. And then when I went back to Atlanta, that's when everything kind of unfolded with the relationship that I was in that was violent. And coming down here, it was another violent. And it was like he literally tried to isolate me the first time. And I, with my flesh, was leading. And I was like, yeah, no, I don't like it here. There was a lot of other reasons as well, but I wasn't supposed to. I don't think I gave Colorado a chance like I was supposed to. That yearning just to be around my folks, what I was used to. And sometimes what you're used to is not where you need to be.
Wow.
Literally.
Wow.
Yeah. So he picked me up by the back of my neck and dropped me in Texas and was like, this is where I need you to be.
We're so glad you're here.
Thank you.
What do you see, not giving out, all of your future plans to all the internet, but what are some things you see for yourself and your family and your walk with God moving forward this year?
For this year?
Yeah, this is
Okay. For this year, I definitely see an expansion with Nailed It Academy. We definitely been getting a lot of inquiries in, and I'm just so thankful for that I'm able to help and give back. My number one pitch is when I am talking to people, like, I'm not doing this for the money. Like, I'm well taken care of. I am the daughter of a king, and he has many, many, many things and many, many mansions. So my father's not poor, okay?
No, that's
father's
right.
not poor. But yeah, definitely seeing Nailed It Academy growing just a little bit more. I am working more on my nonprofit, just getting more of my building filled up. With what it needs to be. Definitely growing within my walk as well. Still walking, still learning every day. Still listening, still getting closer, still yearning just for that one with him. That's a dwelling place. Literally a dwelling place that I like to be. So definitely just working when he tells me to work, resting when he tells me to rest. And I have to learn that because coming from being a daughter of a father that was a hustler, got the money the bad way, and that man, when I say he pounded that into our head, like, you gotta get it. I don't have to do that no more. Now I even catch myself like, slow down. Like, what are you rushing for? What is the big rush here? So I need to. I'm relearning or unlearning to relearn or unlearning to learn the right way.
To learn
Yes.
I love it so much.
Literally. Literally.
Wow. Well, I could listen and talk with you all day. I really could. You have so many different layers to your story. And when I hear more, I'm like, wait, hold up. This is good.
What happened there?
Right? Let's hear more. But where can the ladies find you if they want to connect?
So, yes, I have my Instagram. It is n.i.a, Texas. That's Nailed It Academy. Naya for short. And then I am also on TikTok. It's the same thing. N.I.a. No Texas, just Nailed It Academy on TikTok. And most definitely, I could give you my email and stuff like that if you want to link it. And they could let me know if they want their girls to join the program, if they want me to come out and speak, or if they want me to do a summer camp or anything of that nature. Nailed It Academy is open for business.
We love it so much.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, I really appreciate you for coming
Absolutely.
on. I know we've been wanting to do this, and I think it's been at the most perfect time for, if no other reason. I just needed to hear this whole entire story today. Like, I needed to hear all these details personally. So I appreciate you for coming and sharing your knowledge and your life with us.
Thank you for having me.
Ladies, make sure you check out the show notes so you can connect. They will be there, and we cannot wait to see you on the next one.
And make sure you keep up with you. You are doing big things. It's not just me over here. You are doing big things.
You're doing things.
I love that for you. I love that for you and your husband. Absolutely.
Thank you, boo. I appreciate that. God is good. But all right, you guys, we love y'all. Make sure you check in, subscribe, like, all good things. Until next time.
Thank you so much.